Oh God, my brain's not working. Hi besties, welcome back, or if you are new here, welcome. I wanted to say like, bienvenido or whatever, but I know that's not how it's said. I wanted to add some flair, and I couldn't pull it off, is really what it comes down to. Okay, hi. Welcome to my channel. Welcome back. If you're new here, let's be best friends. Okay, this is a place where we make miniatures and we become best friends. So today I have like a little a little sprinkling. Winter's been long and arduous. I live in the Northeast, New England. It's harsh. It's a harsh climate, okay? We are people of the potato. And I don't know, for a couple of weeks, I was just really feeling like doing smaller, easier projects. In quick projects just felt really good and like less less stressful. I just needed like a little bit of a break. I mean, don't we all just need a break sometimes? And so that's what this video is. It's just it's a bunch of like small projects that I don't know. I mean, I guess I could have put them out on their own, but it just seemed to make sense to just do like just a fuss, okay? This is just a general fuss of fun, quick, easy dollhouse projects. Thank you so much for being here, as always. I will see you at the end. Hello, my dear friends. For this first project here, I had made this window for this diorama. It was just way too big. It just didn't work. It visually did not work. So anyway, I decided I would swap it out and make a little door. So I removed the trim and did all that. And then I used my cutting mat to line up like a straight line so that it has like actual 90-degree. In retrospect, I'm like, oh, I probably could have just traced the piece that I pulled out of there. Like, why did I make so much more work for myself? But I didn't. So, yeah, then I used my handy dandy miter shears and this trim that looks like I probably cut it at some point on my Glowforge. I generally have lots and lots and lots of scrap material, so I try to use every little last piece that I can. Yeah, I just did it this way. I didn't like measure or anything. I'm pretty, when it comes to my Barbie dioramas, I'm like pretty lax about it. Which is just like kind of nice. Like, it's nice to just kind of do these like fast, easy projects that basically, unless I photograph it, no one's really gonna see it. No one comes and sees this stuff in real life. So I don't know. It's just nice to kind of make stuff that's very low stakes, Yeah, so then I wanted this to be kind of one of those like panel sort of doors. Obviously I filmed this on a boat, that's why it's like rocking. Yeah, I just basically did the same thing like 1 million times. I used the, what are those clips called? Those laundry clips. Oh, my brain, my brain. Laundry pin, clothespins. I use clothespins as clamps. They work pretty good if you just have something sort of small. My only regret about this, and you'll see after I get the paint on, is that the moisture in the paint did cause the cardboard to wrinkle a little bit. So, I don't know. I don't care that much, but if I did it again, I might just use a different material maybe. Like just like a harder like piece of something that wouldn't sort of pucker. It wouldn't get a real pucker about it. Yeah, and then I painted it like really, really, really fast because I'm like the world's fastest painter. You guys, this isn't sped up. This is just me, and this is how fast I paint. And then for no reason at all, I made sure I painted all the edges that will never ever be seen because it's going to be glued into place. But yeah, see, you could kind of see the puckering. Here are these like really, really cute little doorknobs that I designed quite a long time ago. I don't even remember what project it was for, but I think they're so cute. And whenever I make one thing, I make a bunch of them. So I'm really glad that I just like had these little doorknobs just already made and I didn't have to go make them. Spoiler alert, that doorknob does fall off. Oh, and then the best part of this project was the piece of wood that I ripped off, I was just able to reappropriate, and so then I didn't have to like worry about trying to match that stain or something, which I hadn't even considered. So that was good. That made my job very, very easy. Oh, but anyway, yeah, I had to use a different glue for the doorknob because this is just like white PVA, like Elmer's glue, and it's not like real glue. All right, so moving right along, we have this next one that really should have been a short, and it was a short. But I don't know, just in case people don't watch shorts or whatever, you're not following me on every billion of social medias that I somehow have to manage all of them. Then here's a real quickie tutorial. So basically I made little cotton balls out of big cotton balls. And it's pretty satisfying to just take a big thing and then cut it and make it smaller. And I recommend it. I recommend you do it all the time, as much as you can. In order to make these Q-tips, I took this like really, really teeny dowel. Like, I don't know, it's like 1.5 or 2 or something. And I painted it white. I cut it and then put a little teeny bit of glue, and then I took more of that cotton ball and kind of rolled it up, and it's almost like needle felting. Like you kind of roll it onto the thing and it kind of mats onto it, and so far it held up really good. The only thing I will say is from like rolling it on my hands and the fact that it's a white, they did get a little bit like dingy. So I don't know what, maybe like do it wearing gloves would be the better solution. But they did come out like really cute. we have some speed painting video of me trying out this really cool Vallejo like rust stain and streaking set. I have always wanted to buy one of these Vallejo sets, and it's not like they're expensive or anything. It's just like that I have a lot of paints and I'm like, I can just mix those and whatever, but it's nice to just have it all done. And I really did like it. So I was like, dude, I've wanted this for like 4 years. Like, just fucking buy it. Like, you know, I don't know if anyone else does that sort of stuff, but I feel like it was a thing that was like hard to justify because I do have orange paint and brown paint, which essentially this is. But I don't know. I really liked doing it. I did refer a lot to the little guide that comes with it, but it was quite enjoyable and meditative. And you'll see in the reveal, I kind of like got way out of control. Like I got like, that's the thing with like aging and distressing and stuff. It is so easy to just get carried away with it, for me anyway. I don't know, I really enjoy doing it, and it feels kind of like meditative and nice. And I don't know, I just get in the zone, and next thing you know, I have the bucket from Silent Hill, which these I've been working on my Lundby Stockholm like laundry room / stable, and so I was like, oh, these are perfect little buckets for my stable. They were like, you know, Barbie colors, and I spray painted them, but they did not need to be like, I'm like, what? No one's using horse buckets that look like this. This is so horrible. But anyway, I just kind of followed the guide, and I don't know, it was a pretty easy and enjoyable process. And yeah, I'm excited to try more of their paint kits like this, and just more of their products in general. I see Southern Gothic Dollhouse using a lot of their stuff, like paint chipping medium. I actually have used, I think it was Vallejo, their like snow medium. It was really expensive, but I used it to like frost up my freezer, my vintage for my vintage fridge, and I am really happy with how it turned out. But it's like a tiny bottle though, and I think it was, you know, $24 or something. So yeah, I do really like their products. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't really have a lot to say on this one, other than I didn't know what I was doing at all, and I don't know. I think it turned out fine. I'm sure it probably could be better if I did it more times, but yeah, I don't know. Highly recommend if you need to rust things. You need to rust things. It's nice to just do little projects like this. I feel like a lot of times, you know, if you're like working on a whole house, or you have like a big diorama, or like you're building a whole thing, there's a lot of components and moving parts. Or sometimes I'm making something to produce and sell, so then I have to like, you know, it's days and days of doing that. That's what I did all week, was restock my shop. So it is kind of nice to like speckle these little, like, just easy, inconsequential, you know, stress-free. They're just really good for my brain. I think, you know, I don't know. I put a lot of pressure on myself, and doing stuff like this that's so non-pressure it's just a good vacation. It's a vacation from myself. And I think that's important to do sometimes, you know, regardless of what your creative practice is. Like, for me, making stuff is fun. Like, I do want to make stuff even if I like have a day off, quote unquote. I don't really ever have days off, but I think it's good to do projects just for the sake and joy of doing it. with no like goal or outcome. I guess that's where I'm going. Yeah, so the way this process goes is you kind of just keep building up the layers. Um, and like adding little streaks and like each color I think it gets like darker and then you do like a little bit less of it if I remember correctly. It dries a bit differently. So I would say if you're going to try this, do less than you think you need to because I feel like looked like a lot more once it was dry. Like I was like, oh wow, that's actually like a lot of the like really light tones that weren't super showing up became a lot just which usually it goes the opposite way. Colors usually aren't as bright, but I don't know, not in this case. But you can see like that's looking realism 10 out of 10. For like something that started off as like a little pink Barbie freaking pail or whatever, like that's pretty impressive, I have to say. I'm impressed with myself. Good job, me. Did y'all see that viral video of Snoop Dogg? And I don't know where he was at, but he was giving some kind of like, graduation speech or something. And like, he was just like, I want to just fucking thank myself. Like, good job, me. Thank you, me, for all this hard work. And like, I don't know, man. It really, it hit me. It hit close to my heart. Like, sometimes you need to do that, man. Like we're so busy thanking everyone else for our success. It's just like, don't forget the day in, day out of continuing to show up over time. Yeah, so this is Realistic Water Medium. I think it's Natural Scenics or something is the brand. You don't have to cure it. I guess that's the one difference between this and resin. But you can only put in like a little bit at a time. So like you have to put in a little bit, and it does take quite a long time to like cure or whatever. All right, and then the last project we have today is that I am going to make some pot holders, repurposing some old vintage clothing. I do like to buy, even if they're damaged, because if they're damaged, you can get them so cheap, like just Barbie and doll clothes, because a lot of times the fabric has a small, the scale of the print is really small, and so it makes really good fabric for miniatures. So I started out by just tracing a doll hand just to get the scale correct. It's not usable. It's also not fire retardant. So I guess if I took her hand off, I could just shove it on her wrist. But the opening at the wrist is not big enough to like actually slide it on her hand like a mitten. So after ironing my fabric and making the little pattern, I always use double-sided sticky tape to stick my pattern to the fabric. Just because it's so small, I think this works better than like pinning or whatever. And yeah, just cut the fabric out. I had been planning on making this, like, this was one of those, like, projects, like, dream projects. Oh, yeah, so, and I kept buying red gingham. Like, it's just ridiculous. But, yeah, so I was finally like, you know what? Today's the day. And it was kind of a nightmare. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm not the best sewer. Oh, here I am. I'm just folding in the edges at the wrist where it's going to be kind of like hemmed in quotation marks. Yeah, I'm not the best sewer, and I hand sewed this because it is so small. It was just like, lately I have been doing a lot of things that I'm like, this is too small. This is too persnickety. I've met my edge several times in the last few months, so I don't know what that says about me. My therapist would probably call it a growth edge. You know, when you're standing on the edge of a cliff, it's your growth a lot of times doesn't happen unless we're forced into it, right? When stuff's just like okay, you don't make big cataclysmic changes. Stuff has to be pretty shitty to inspire really, really big changes, like quitting a job or getting a divorce, or, you know, just life-changing changes. So yeah, I hand sewed this. I used the classic innie outie stitch. Those of you who sew will probably be familiar with what I'm talking about. And I'm just making shit up and talking out of my beehole. Yeah, this is like so finagly. It came out fine. It came out as well as it could come out with me making it. The good thing about the gingham print is when you have to sew a straight line, it already has a line there, so that's kind of nice. Why did I leave this so long? I should have edited this. Like, I don't know, but then sometimes I'm like, I should cut this long so you guys can see how much I fucking suffer. I recently like made a bloopers reel, and it was really fun to make. And I was like, I need to do this every time. Every time I cut a video, I need to make a bloopers reel of just like me burning myself or stabbing myself or having to redo things and like swearing like I'm freaking Yosemite Sam. Is it Yosemite Sam with the gun? Is it because are all of his scenes, do they take place in Yosemite? Is that where that comes from? most of my humor came from Looney Tunes, which is to say most of my humor is from like the 1940s, because you go back and like I've been watching a lot of movies from the 30s and 40s, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, that's a Looney Tunes reference. Like, it's like they were referencing popular culture at the time that they were making those cartoons. But for me, it was just like a funny Looney Tunes joke. I don't know if they still make Looney Tunes, but they should, because freaking fantastic. Also, I heard Johnny Knoxville from Jackass talking about where he gets his ideas, and he said he got them a lot from Looney Tunes, and I really appreciated that. And also, it made a lot of sense. So I had a little tiny piece of like elastic cord that I kind of glued in there to make the loop, which was probably a good idea. I think I originally was going to use embroidery floss, but this had more structure, so that kind of made sense. Also, by the way, I had to do this 3 times to get this glove to look like this, but I mean, that's not bad, right? Next up, I decided I just had so much fun making the first pot holder 3 times in hand sewing. I mean, that hand sewing takes a minute. That I was like, I'll bust out a square one. This is me counting, like I'm like counting the squares. And that was a pain in the bumsies as well. So, will I like try to do hand sewing on little tiny things again? I probably will. I won't want to, but you know, depends on how much I desire making the thing, or how much my project requires the thing, you know. Yeah, and so now I'm just gonna sew really, really fast again. And while I'm sewing really fast, I'm just gonna drink this tea. Fun fact about me, you might think from watching these videos that they were all shot in a similar timeline, span of time, era of time, because of my nail polish, but no, I just wear this nail polish. Don't ask me why. I'm just really obsessed with it. I feel like it's like Eve Klein blue, and I just, like, I don't know, every week or something, I just paint my nails this color again. I have like 10 other nail polishes, and I want them to be blue, and I'm going with it. And I think it's really pretty. And also, I'm kind of like, do I look like a corpse? Because my fingernails are blue, or just really, really cold. Turning little persnickety things inside out is such a nightmare. Look at me here. Actually, oh, was it this thing? I can't remember if it was this part. No, it wasn't. This was actually quick and satisfying. Yeah, I think it was this part where I'm like turning the corners out. I ended up I had to speed it up. It was like, it was so long. Like, at first I was like, I'm going to leave it like this and show them just how much time and effort goes into this. And I finally was like, I can't. This is so boring. And then again, oh man, I had to cut this up a lot. It was quite painful to watch. Like it doesn't sound hard. Getting this little loop of cord shoved into this tiny little hole. Just know this was like a very, very long video that I cut a lot, and I did that for you. Okay? Just know that, oh yeah, I spread it out. That's right. I spread it out. I still wanted you to see how much I suffered from this, because I was just honestly, I was just kind of cackling about it. The fact that, like, I mean, look, and then I take it out, and now it's like sealed shut from the glue drying, and like, oh my God. Now I'm like, okay, I'll stick it in, I'll glue the hole first. Nope, take it back out again. Just, for what? This is so dumb. I'm sure I could go on eBay and find a miniature pot holder that looks just like this. Look, now I'm like digging the old dried glue out of it. It's painful to watch. Like, look at this. It's still going. It's still going. Okay, now I'm like, okay, I snip the ends off it. I'm trying to use this tweezer so that I don't burn myself. Okay, here we go. Oh, we did it, you guys. We freaking did it. Uh-oh. Be careful. Don't pull that too hard. It's stressing me out. Ah! Oh, there we go. Ah, mission accomplished. I can breathe. I can take a sigh of relief. So what'd you think? Which, did you have a favorite project? Will you do any of these projects? If you do any of them, please tag me on all the social medias, because it's so fun to see people get inspired and make stuff, and hopefully I'm like demystifying some things, or just making you realize that they're easier than they could be, or I don't know. I hope that the content I make adds something to people's lives. Because that's, at the end of the day, right? That's what wealth is. That's what affluence is, right? Is feeling full. Cool. Thank you for sticking around. Let's be best friends. If we're not already, I feel like so many of us are best friends. And bye.